Oh, I wish every government department would hear the answer to this question, because if people were more prepared before they moved to an Aboriginal community, there would the revolving door that just goes around and round of people coming and going like backpacker tourists could actually stop. If you think you're going to an Aboriginal community, you should do the same as what if you were, say, a medical person going off to work in the European Economic Community in Europe. You would be required before you went to learn the language of the people that you're going to work with. You'd be required by the European Economic Community to learn that language before you practice medicine in those countries where people spoke a different language to what you spoke. And you might spend up to 3 years getting ready for that. Unfortunately, teachers, doctors, medical people, professionals, engineers, whatever, come to work in Aboriginal communities and there's no preparation done whatsoever. It's like Aboriginal people have been forced to assimilate into the mainstream. They have to do all the hard communication work. So what you could do straight away is try and find some language material of the area you're going to. And you'll have to search for this because, unfortunately, the mainstream and government structures do not put any emphasis on this. Unfortunately, even Aboriginal organisations these days are not putting any emphasis on this. The Aboriginal controlled organisations do not require their staff to learn the local language. So again, all the pressure is put across onto the Aboriginal people, the clients of those services. If you want to be successful, if you want to learn some of the real Australian culture, speak a real Aussie language, an Australian language, try and get your hands on the material before you come. And then the other thing you can do is read as much of the written history of that particular area as you possibly can, so that you're more in the same canoe as the people when you arrive, as though history didn't start the day when you stepped off the plane in that community. Unfortunately, that's how it was for me. I stepped off the plane, I brought with me all the cultural baggage from central New South Wales, all the negative naming, derogatory naming, all my really crazy ideas about the people, no knowledge of the language, and it took the people of Central Arnhem Land many years to knock those crazy ideas out of my head and replace them with some of the real understandings that existed. So prepare yourself. Language number one, get hold of the resources, go hard at it, because in those first 3 months you really want to, in a sense, break the back of understanding how to speak the local language, to hear the local language. But you'll also then start to learn culture, because when you learn language, you learn a different culture, a different way of framing the world, a different way of encoding the world in your own mind. Then learn as much as the history of that area as you possibly can. Read up on it, and that'll change your whole view of the history just starting the day you get off the plane. It'll make your orientation and your fitting with the community much more a successful and pleasant event. The chances are you'll also stay much longer and be much more useful at what you're going there to do.